All right, greetings everybody and welcome to week number 3. That is right, week number 3 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin. And what we will be doing this week in this check-in video is first a state of the course update, and then we will do I will tell you about 2 common mistakes that people make with in APA, and I will let you all know that I will actually be checking for these mistakes when I am grading 2 of your assignments in this class specifically, and those are going to be your virtual reference practice papers and your Wikipedia edit paper assignments. Those are the 2 assignments in this course that I actually check for proper APA for. It is good to get in the habit of doing your APA right if you can, and you can. If you're in grad school, you should be able to. But the reason that I don't check for proper APA with the discussion board posts and with the semester-long project is because the discussion board posts, I feel, are less formal. There's no other way to put it. They are less formal, so I don't want to bog you down with having to actually format your APA perfectly in the discussion board prompts, because technically it's kind of like if we were in a physical classroom, if you were talking in class, no one would be checking your citation formatting in a physical classroom that way. So we're not going to do it here either. That's just overkill. And then when it comes to your semester-long projects, I think I mentioned this before, but again, those things take a long time to grade, and they would take even longer if I were checking for proper APA use on the semester-long projects. So I'm not going to do that just to save myself and you all the trouble. But for those 2 formalized written assignments, those again being the virtual reference practice paper and the Wikipedia edit assignment, yes, I will be expecting you to do your APA properly, and that does include avoiding these 2 mistakes. So if you have had me in a class before, most of you have not, because a lot of you are not taking electives yet, and this is the only required class that I teach on a consistent basis. So if you have not had me in a course before, then I do recommend that, unless you know APA inside and out, that you watch this video, and you can speed it up, but watch this video and make sure that you avoid those mistakes. But it's just the game. I don't make these required, because when I make any videos required in the classes, no, if I have to make something required, I will. But typically what happens is if I make a video, the check-in video required in any class, or when I make the check-in video required, what happens is people ding me on my teaching evaluations for that. They say that, oh, he made us watch these check-in videos and they're long and blah, blah, blah. So I figure, hey, what I'm going to do is put the warning out there and then let the student beware. If you trust that you know your APA inside and out and that you will avoid these 2 common mistakes, then by all means, do not follow up and don't watch this. Don't watch the full thing. You can cut out at the end of the state of the course update. But if you think, hey, maybe if Dr. Jace is telling us that people make these mistakes very commonly, so maybe I might make the mistake too, so I might want to see what he's talking about. If you take that approach, then hopefully that will lead you to not make this mistake and therefore not lose points. But inevitably, there will be some of you who just don't heed the warning, and so you're going to lose points on the first assignment, and then hopefully you'll see, oh, I don't want to lose those points again, so then you'll get it right on the Wikipedia edit assignment. So that's how it goes. But let's jump into the state of the course update. This video will probably be about 25 minutes, not sped up. So it should be about 20 minutes sped up, and that shouldn't be too bad. At least I would hope not. So let's go ahead and pause, and let's jump into the state of the course update. All right, so first of all, let's look at the database unassignment. You all have these due this coming weekend. They are due on Sunday, February 4th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. I will say that there is kind of a grace period there. I'm not going to wake up. I'm not going to wake up at 12 a.m. my time to see who hasn't turned it in yet, and then ding the people who have not. So as long as you have as long as you have this done by the time I wake up in the morning on Monday morning, you will be fine. I'm not just going to be watching to make sure that people have it done right at the close time. There is going to be a little bit of a grace period, but by all means, please get it in. Get it in Sunday night so that you don't have to worry about losing any points. Okay. But again, the database unassignment, it shouldn't take, several of you, by the way, have already done it. I've actually looked at the ones that people have already done, even though it says that I have 8 unread. That's because I'm in this thing called student view. So if you're confused about that, I'm in student view. And so when I'm in instructor view, it doesn't show these as unread, but they do show them as unread in student view until I read them within the student view. But having said that, you again have your format right here. This is not hard. Below, you'll find the format for your post. And so all you do, I did it with cables, and you just replace cables with information from your assigned database. And if you do want to switch databases, you are running out of time, but you can go ahead and contact me if you do want to switch databases, and I will either approve or deny. But in either case, you can always ask, and my door is always open for you. But yes, so get this done. It's designed to take about 30 minutes to an hour. However, sometimes people do take about 2 hours, but nobody takes more than 2 hours on this. It is not a long assignment. It is not a hard assignment. It should be 5 easy points. Okay. And again, I will also say this. So, I'm not actually going to show who showed I'm not going to show who had the first submission, because I don't want to expose anybody to, their name and work being out there online without their permission. But having said that, if you if you go and you look at this prompt and you're not sure whether or not you're not sure what level of quality I'm looking for, basically, what you can do is you can look at that first example. That first submission, I should say, the first submission that you have from your classmate there, that submission is going to get all 5 points. So if you match or exceed that level of effort, you will get all 5 points. So I hope that's clear. One of your classmates, like I said, the first classmate of yours that did the assignment and turned it in, they did just fine. They're going to get the full 5 points. So as long as you match that effort, you're going to get the full 5 points as well. The second thing that I want to talk about with the state of the course update is the two-parter discussion board prompt here. So yeah, 20 of you have done this, and I've had 20 posts, I should say that. It could be that several of you have already done your second post, and I've actually not checked these yet. But you should have had your first post up by January 28th. If you have not put it up, that is fine. Like I said in the last check-in video, as long as you get them both put up by February 4th, which is, again, this coming Sunday night, you will be just fine. But this is a two-parter, and it's a two-parter for a reason. And once you all carry this one out, then we can leave this dreadful thing of, well, to me, dreadful thing of information seeking behavior. Again, this is not something, I think I mentioned it in our first sync session. It's not something that I'm all that interested in, but it's something that ALA requires us to teach. Okay. And other than that, as far as assignments that are on the horizon, again, you all know that you have 2 items, a discussion board prompt and the database unassignment due on this coming Sunday. And then 2 weeks from this coming Sunday, you will have your virtual reference practice paper due. So if you have not already gotten up with your partner to establish a time to actually do the assignment, go ahead and do that. And again, this question comes up every semester, even though it has not come up this semester yet, but I'm still going to answer the question before it comes up. But again, these check-in videos are optional, so someone still might ask me this, and that's okay. But what I want you all to be aware of is that you can pretty much ask anything. Like, usually I have at least 2 or 3 students contact me and they're like, what kind of questions can we ask? And the answer to that is pretty much anything, because you don't get to dictate what you are asked on the reference desk. You just don't. People are going to come to you with anything, so you have to be prepared. Now, I do want you to use a little bit of common sense and not do something weird. Like, yes, people, when you're working on the reference desk professionally, yes, there are going to be people who ask you things that are too basic for the spirit of this assignment, such as somebody asking, hey, where's the bathroom? Don't ask that. Don't ask where the bathroom is. Don't ask, don't hit on your partner or ask for their phone number or anything like that, which, again, I know it sounds silly and sounds commonsensical, but those are things that are going to happen on the reference desk. So I don't want you to totally make a real reference desk experience for your partner. But certainly you can ask something that is fairly simple, like a definition of a word or something, or you can ask something that's very complex or anywhere in between, and you do need to keep your partner on their toes, because one of the things that I want you all to get out of this assignment is that there is going to be possibly some discomfort based on what you are asked on the reference desk in real time. That happens to most reference librarians, and so I want you all to experience that and know that that's something that could be on the horizon in your first reference job. Okay, so that is mostly it for, that is it for State of the Course updates. I will say that, again, I am going to have the semester-long projects ready and available probably around week 6-ish or so. But that will still give you plenty of time to complete the semester-long project, okay? All right, let's go ahead and talk about those 2 common APA mistakes. Give me one moment. All right, so here we are. So I am going to talk again about those 2 common APA mistakes. One of these mistakes is pretty simple, and then one of them is a bit more complicated. But these are mistakes that people, again, make every single semester. I warn people in the announcement that I post the check-in video in. I say, hey, people make this mistake every single semester. So maybe watch this so that you can avoid making this mistake this semester, because if somebody's making it every semester, then it's a common mistake and it's something that you might be open and possibly potentially vulnerable to making those same mistakes as well. But I still, without fail, have people that ignore me and I would say they're overconfident in their own knowledge of APA. And so they ignore these common mistakes, and so they make the common mistakes, and then I have to mark them down, and then they get things right the second time. I am hoping that 100% of you get it right the first time, because I don't like taking points. I really don't. So I would rather that you all just go ahead and get this right the first time, but we'll see how this goes. So the first one, again, is very simple. Now, first of all, if you do need some guidance on the, as far as APA, you don't necessarily need to buy the APA style guide. And for those of you who work in libraries, you probably do have access to the APA style guide through your library somehow, either through an electronic resource, or else if not through an electronic resource, then you may have a hard copy there. But if you don't work at a library and you don't go to the library often, then what you can do is use the Purdue OWL, and it's very simple. It's free to use. It's free to find. You can just go to Google and Google Purdue OWL APA, select it, and it will take you right there. So we land in our general format, and from this general format page, we will discuss those 2 common errors. Let's scroll down here, friends. All right, so let's get her out of here. All right, so the first thing I want you to note is a very simple issue with your reference list with authors in author or authors, okay? This is very simple, and it shouldn't cause you all any grief or any harm or any trouble. But again, this is one of the mistakes that I have people make every single semester, so hopefully none of you will make this, but we'll see. So even if you have an author's first and second name, or first and middle name, I should say, you do not write those. You do not write given names out in the reference list in APA. You only write out surnames, okay? You only write out last names. And so we'll look at some examples here. So, as you can see, you have S. Ahmad here. Or here where you have 2 authors, you have C.J. Soto and O.P. John. You do not have the given names written out. You only have the last names written out, and then the given names are initialized. And so even if you have the full name of the author, you do not put the full name of the author here, okay? Hopefully you're never going to have more than 20 authors, but pay attention to what's going on there if you do. But hopefully you will never have more than 20 authors. Usually you will have, I rarely ever see pieces with more than 6 authors, to be honest with you, and say you've got some guidance there, okay? But I will, and I'll give you all my full government name. My full government name is Jason Kelly Austin. Again, it's Jason Kelly Austin. And if you were citing me on something, even if you know my full name, is Jason Kelly Austin or Jace K. Austin or whatever I'm going by, you write me in the reference list as Austin, comma, J, period, K, period. You do not write out my first or middle name. And as you can see with all of these examples, first and middle names are not written out. Please do not make that mistake. All right. Now, the second thing is a little trickier, a little more complicated, but we are going to get into it and you should see what's going on. So the second common mistake, and again, it happens every single semester, and this one happens more commonly than the name issue. When you're talking about book titles and article titles in a reference list, the thing that happens is there's a funky kind of capitalization scheme where you basically only capitalize the first word of the title, the first word of the subtitle, and any proper nouns. Again, first word of the title, first word of the subtitle, and any proper nouns. That is all you capitalize, and you do not do the normal English capitalization rules, okay? Let me show you all some examples. All right, we're going to start with books. So first of all, you do have your format here, and the format pretty much takes care of it for you. Title of the work, and then you see capital letter also for subtitle there. This is the format. So as you can see, title is capitalized, but work is not. Capital is capitalized, but letter also and subtitle are not. That is the format for a book in APA for the reference list. Let me say it again. That is the format. Let's look at some examples. Now, first of all, I said proper nouns, and we got to go back to that. Here is a book title. This is a real book. Here's a real book title. And as you can see, it says Alexander the Great, A Life in Legend. Now, some of you might be saying, well, hey, great is capitalized there, Dr. Jace. Yes, it is. The reason why great is capitalized there is because Alexander the Great is actually considered a proper noun. But even in a proper noun, if the proper noun contains an article like the or a or something like that, you do not capitalize the article, okay? So Alexander the Great, Alexander and Great are capitalized, but as you can see in the subtitle, A is capitalized, but life and legend are lowercase. And that is how this works, folks. And I have people get this wrong every single semester, even despite me saying, hey, if you don't know APA in and out, you may want to watch this because people make these same mistakes every single semester. I've been doing this for a while now. But people will go ahead and overestimate their knowledge of APA and not take my warnings, and then they lose the points, and then they have to play catch up. So again, let's look through a few more examples of book titles here. Again, we are focused on book titles right now, references books. So if you scroll down, you'll see a new companion for Mallory. As you can see, new is lowercase, companion is lowercase. Mallory is a proper noun, so Mallory is capitalized, okay? And so you see that there, and we can scroll down and see other examples such as, okay, yeah, there you go. So as you can see, everything is lowercase here, and this is with an editor as opposed to an author, but, I mean, edition other than first, sorry, I got ahead of myself there. Edition other than the first edition. As you can see, same things are going on here. This is your book title right here, Writing Your Journal Article in 12 Weeks, A Guide to Academic Publishing Success. The only words that are capitalized are writing and A, and you all need to pay attention to that because for those two assignments that I mentioned earlier, yes, I will be counting off for that. Things get slightly trickier, but not too bad with the articles and periodicals. And first of all, for those of you who don't know, a periodical would be something that comes out periodically and usually, not always, but most of the time has a volume and issue number. So a thing like a newspaper, a magazine, or an academic journal, those things come out on a recurring basis and they come out on a kind of a cycle, sometimes daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever. But whatever the case is, yes, they come out on some sort of schedule. These periodicals do. And what happens is you only apply that funky capitalization scheme to the title of the article, but not the title of the publication, not the title of the periodical. So again, let's look at some examples. First of all, when you're doing APA, as you see here, the title of the article comes first, and then the title of the periodical or the title of the publication. And so we've got a good example right here from 1996. I can't believe 1996 is 28 years ago. kill me. What is going on? I'm getting so old. All right. So if you see this, the title of the publication, the new criterion, follows the standard English capitalization scheme. You see it right there. But if you look at this article, the only thing that you have capitalized is the word the. You don't capitalize eclipse. You don't capitalize listening. Let's scroll down and see some more examples of this. Here is your publication title right here, Purdue Journal of Service Learning and International Engagement. But if you look at this article title, Data and Experience Design, Negotiating Community-Oriented Digital Research with Learning, what is capitalized? The first word of the title, data, first word of the subtitle, negotiating, but nothing else. Experience, design, community-oriented digital research, service learning. All lowercase, my friends, all lowercase, okay? Better late than never, an article coming out of Time. As you can see, Time magazine is capitalized, but better is the only word in the article title that is capitalized, okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to I'm going to include an excerpt from the APA style manual in this announcement as well, so that you can use that, and it'll talk a little bit more about the APA's sentence casing, basically. Capitalization. So if you do want to read further on that, then you can look at that excerpt, and the excerpt is either 4 pages or 6 pages, somewhere in that range. Okay, so it's not too long. All right, but again, I will be counting off on this, and I am hoping that you all will be the first reference class that I've ever had that had everybody get it right the first time, but it's never happened before. Please let it happen this time. All right, let's leave it right there because there's no need to prolong this. Oh, no, I actually do need to mention something else. So things happen with electronic resources as well. But what I'm going to say is I'm actually not going to be as much of a hard ass on the electronic resources like the internet sources and that sort of thing, like web pages and that sort of thing. I'm going to give you all a little bit of grace there because this stuff really starts to get tricky. Try your best to format it as you see here. Look for the example source that you have. So if it's a blog post, you know, look for that. If it's an Instagram photo or video, look for the right thing. But if you do get capitalization wrong on the on like web pages and these sorts of things on this list, I'm going to give you a little more grace here. Now, don't just be reckless, because if I think you're just reckless and just doing whatever willy-nilly, then I am going to count off. But if you make a few mistakes here and there on this, you probably won't get counted off. But even if you make one mistake, even if you make one mistake on the book titles and the article titles, that will come back to bite you. You will get penalized for that. I want you all to actually have some competency in what you're doing, because I don't want to produce professional librarians who are nightmares for journal editors who have to take these submissions and then see that you cannot actually follow a style guide scheme. Okay. So that's what this is about. It's about competencies, and I know that you all are competent. Let's leave it there. I am Dr. Jace, and these points for proper APA citation are points that you do not want to waste. Get it right. All right. I will see you all next week with another check-in video. Take care. And for those of you who are Missouri-based or are Chiefs fans, I'm a Panthers fan because I'm from North Carolina, but still go Chiefs. I support you all because I am employed by the state of Missouri. All right. Take care.